There's Rangri Grangshan Zamijilone Machu Zumit Luperjaks, Namto Kanchi Rango Shibrihini Tamchichuni Jiro doors. And the expense in which self-knowing rigpa arise spontaneously. Free of all grasping, zamit, rest and relax, without contrivance or fabrication. Zumit, right? Zumit, I think Zumit is. And whatever thoughts arise, namtok karchi, recognize their essence, rango shibrahini, allow them all to be liberated as the display. Rorba, display, rolba, I think, of your own intrinsic nature, chunichi rolba. Beautiful. Well, here Longchenpa gives us, I would say, very, very crucial point of dzogchen teaching. As you know, in order to receive dzogchen teaching, first we have to practice preliminaries, right? Which is basically prepare your relative mind. Preliminary practice is preparation, for your relative mind, sort of making solid foundation. Because dzogchen is literally about ultimate mind, not relative mind. So without prepare your relative mind, there's no way to understand the ultimate mind. That's why preliminary practice is so important. So without making some sort of, this solid foundation, or without this process of training of the relative mind, then it's impossible to recognize the ultimate mind. That's why we usually don't teach dzogchen right away for the beginners. And those, like if someone is not willing to go through this whole process of training and just want to build a beautiful house on the ice, I would say, good luck. Good luck. Build a beautiful, expensive house on the ice. Good luck. The traditional way of receive dzogchen teachings, you have to go through all the stages, and especially before you receive any dzogchen teachings, you need to receive so-called the pointing out instruction. Once you receive the pointing out instruction, it's very, very unique way, actually, the teacher give you the pointing out instruction. Traditional way, like in my lineage, if you don't receive pointing out instructions, they don't let you listen dzogchen teachings. They don't let you read about dzogchen teaching, like the books. No. But after that, you go through all the process and you receive pointed out instructions, then you're ready to listen dzogchen teachings, you're ready to read about the dzogchen books, that is correct way to practice or receive dzogchen teachings. But as you know, these days, it's just, you can see there are so many beautiful houses, beautiful empty houses on the ice. They're very beautiful because expensive, but all are empty. Nobody nobody wanted stay in the house because they're on the ice. They receive lots of dzogchen teachings, but they don't want to practice. So we will see what will happen to these things. But anyway, let me put a piece of this dzogchen teaching in this way, okay? The teachings of Buddha repeatedly say that all sentient beings possess an enlightened essence, right? Which is what Buddha called the Buddha nature, or the Vajrayana teachings say inner guru. Whatever one's social character, whether male or female, or it makes no difference. The essence of the mind is the same in everyone. So that is the reason, Buddhist teachings are very much focused on the dualistic mind, how to develop this, how to, understand this mind. That's why we say Nangba in Tibetan, Nangba, which means like practitioner who is always looking inwardly. That's what we call Nangba Buddhism. Okay, in Tibetan we say Nangba. Because if you are Buddhism, that means you are looking inwardly. Because according to Buddhism, everyone has the possibility of attain liberation. And we have that seed, Everyone can diminish all of these negative thoughts. Now, if one, will be able to attain recognition of this Buddha nature, what we see of it through that recognition is called rigpa. That's Longchenpa says here, which means self-knowing. And with this recognition, there's nothing that we really need to change, because it is beyond change. It's unchangeable. We just, need to live it as it. And just live it as it. And what happens when you live your mind as it? Padmasambhava said, my mind stays like ocean. My mind is free of thoughts and emotions. My mind is free of location. My mind is totally liberated. He said, there is no ultimate guru other than this. That's Padmasambhava says. So that is the essence of nature mind, which is, Longchenpa says here, free of all grasping, without fabrication. For example, when we practice Guru Yoga, usually the Guru that we visualize is either like Buddha Shakyamuni or Padmasambhava or whatever you visualize. Even if we have many root gurus, right? But Padmasambhava, for example, can represent all of them. People ask many times, all the time, like, oh, I practice this and this, but if I focus only this, what about the other deities like that? You don't have to worry about, because like one deity is the embodiment of all the deities and Buddhas like that. If you really understand what the meaning of inner guru, So Padmasambhava, for example, when you practice Guru Yoga, and then you visualize Padmasambhava, the essence of your root guru. And then Padmasambhava actually, one, the visualize Padmasambhava. The Padmasambhava can represent all of Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, all of that. Why? I mean, that's Vajrayana teaching say why? Because the nature of Padmasambhava is all of those root gurus, the same. That's why when we practice Guru Yoga, we say like Guru's wisdom dissolve into my mind and become unite, become one, right? That's why we have this same seed. If otherwise, like how you mixed, how you mingle, like your mind and my mind, there's no way to do that. But through this kind of nature recognition of the nature mind, then you really see that. Through that, there is no birth, no death, no nothing. I mean, everything is beyond, So that's why Padmasambhava said that when you understand your dualistic mind totally, I mean, which means like recognize the nature mind totally, then there will be no separation from me. That's what he said. Through practicing with such a simple and profound, like ultimate Guru Yoga, like that, we will be able to self-knowing rigpa. Rigpa is Tibetan, but means like to see, like the self-knowing, self-arising wisdom, and be able to eliminate the dualistic mind, eliminate or transform, whatever you like to do. So this is a way to diminish the dualistic mind and how to cultivate the self-arising wisdom. And how to really discover the realization of true nature of all phenomena. Once you really recognize without any doubt, then the Vajrayana teachers say, all these appearances, all these phenomena, manifestation, right, from your nature mind, you will see it, you will understand. Otherwise, like as ordinary people, like, when you say all these are just come from your mind, it's difficult to believe it. But because you don't just recognize nature mind. That's why we call nature mind is limitless, So when through that kind of realization, we can clearly be aware of this ultimate Guru. Longchenpa called it self-arised wisdom awareness, right? So this is how the great masters describe the nature mind. But you need time to let go of this dualistic mind, or transform, this dualistic mind into self-arising awareness. Over the time, without any expectation. I have to say this all the time because you guys have lots of expectation, and very like want to right away something, just take time, no problem. Over the time, through practice, these instructions, and then your mind will be able to free from opinions, meaning, we always think, oh, good, oh, bad, oh, perfect, imperfect, oh, beautiful, oh, ugly. We have all these opinions, right? So when you recognize the nature mind, and slowly you will be able to free from all these opinions, Then you can see the nature of your mind that is absent from illusion. And you can recognize nature mind timelessly. There's no time. time and thoughts and all these are limit, you know. So once you recognize nature mind, then continually, you know, timelessly, and it comes naturally, spontaneously, um, you know, and then once you have that kind of realization, then you still continually practice like that, you know, then meditation and meditator become one. Then end of journey, you're done. Or you can say experience and experiencer become one. End of journey. But some people say, you know, oh, when I practice dzogchen, I have these beautiful experiences. No, you don't. If there is an experience, then there must be an experiencer, right? Who experience. That is not, that is what we call the dualistic fixation or dualistic grasping. That is not dzogchen at all. Dzogchen is beyond path. Dzogchen is beyond experiences. Dzogchen is beyond meditation. But people think, you know, like when you reach, you know, that kind of realization, you will experience like so beautiful things and like that kind of like they expect. You know, as long as they're experienced, then they're experiencer, there's observer, you know, all of that is dualistic thing, you know. So that's not dzogchen at all, just to let you know. But some people also say that I want to recognize my nature mind right now. Can you give me blessings? I want to do that right now. Too much expectation and try too hard, it doesn't work. You know, when you meditate and, oh, okay, this I want a nature mind, practice dzogchen, Mahamudra, or whatever. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Try too hard, it doesn't work. And some people say, after receive the dzogchen teachings, okay, no, I am good. I relieved. I received all these dzogchen teachings. Now I'm free. And then you don't practice. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. So you need to practice continually with a good balance. Not means like not too hard, not too lazy, you know. Just you have to keep a good balance and without expectation and just continually to practice. And then, you know, and also very important, follow in a genuine sort of instructor, whatever you call teacher or guru, or until you take care of it completely. Otherwise, people, you know, told me that, you know, like, you know, without sort of preliminary practice, and they say, you know, I received the dzogchen, I received Mahamudra, so I practiced this and that, but now I'm lost. I need your help. I said, it's too bad. You know, you have to go back. If that's the case, you have to go back and start all over again. So, knowing that we have this nature mind is one thing, and recognizing it is another thing, and fully sort of realizing being is really something else. So, recognize nature mind is not that hard. The difficult part is maintain it, which is you have to constantly continue practice. Otherwise, you just lost, you recognize you lost, you can't stay in it. So it depends on your diligence and until like effortlessly, you know, you have to practice all, you know, that's. So nature mind, it's, I'm here, dzogchen, we talk a little bit dzogchen, but I just give you the benefit, like, it's just really something that has to be realized through proper instructions, genuine guidance, and take all these stages, My teachers always say that, to recognize the nature mind, does not depend upon someone who is intelligent, someone who is knowledgeable, or someone who has a strong emotion, or someone who is foolish or stupid. It doesn't matter. But it depends only on someone has a genuine devotion. That's it. That's all. Some people might think, oh, I'm so intelligent person, and I know all the teachings of Buddhism, so very easy to recognize. It doesn't mean that. Some people say, oh, I'm very stupid, I'm very foolish. It's difficult to recognize my nature. No, that's not the case. It depends on your genuine devotion, that's all. Okay, that's that. Now, Mukten Sami Gomji Putsame Prishini Jang Tamar Turnjim Jawang the Kachik Jang Merton Varas. Jolam Kund Tamba Yangmi Hila, Nantak Sodu Kamshon, Cheshire Tamchi Jimmy Tarjon Shipi Bardo Nyangok Jews. Even though you practice in such a way that there is not even as much as hair tip of, let's say, Mukten Sami Gomji Putsam, here. Where is the hair tip of concrete. Okay, that's a rigpa, I think. Reference. Point 2, cultivate by meditating. Don't allow yourself to drift even for a single instant into ordinary confusion. Tamar Turnjim Jawand. Kachikjang means like, Kachikjang means instinct. Mertongwaras, Jolam Kundatambayami, Shipis. Instead, remain aware and undistracted during all activities and train. Recognize all the sights. Sight, tak sounds, and sensory experience as the play of illusion. In so doing, you will gain experience for the Bardo state. Okay. So this teaching is beyond our capacity at this moment. According to dzogchen, there is nothing to, as I said, nothing to focus upon in meditation, right? Rinpoche says, as you simply rest in your nature state, there is neither meditation nor distraction. It means there is nothing to meditate on, but at the same time, there's no distraction. And no wandering, That's why Maharaj says, non-meditation, non-wandering. Non-meditation, non-gum the milla yang ba means. Gum the mit, no meditation. What you meditate? Nothing. Yang ba mit means no wandering. You just really be aware on this luminosity, or sometimes we call it, right? Clarity or whatever. But without introducing the nature mind or without receiving the pointing out instruction, it will be very difficult to understand the meaning of, this like gomdamela, no meditation, no wandering. Or they would say, great meditation with nothing to meditate on. It's kind of contradict, right? But great meditation with nothing meditate on, but continuously maintaining it. What does it mean? I want you to think about that, okay? The dzogchen masters would say, rest in its nature. Do not try to stop your thoughts when they arise, and do not further them anymore. About the words, 3 words there, Vada points, right? So when you meditate, your thoughts arise, then you can focus on your meditation. But at that point, you should not get really upset, over that. Rather, you should not think about it, any further, but just try to come back and rest again. So you immediately recognize your thoughts, then just rest in the nature state. That's your meditation. That's how to liberate your thoughts and how to free your thoughts, By doing that over and over again, you will learn how to continue without losing this self-awareness, self-arising awareness. Therefore, Longchenpa says here to make sure that every aspect of your daily activity is undistracted and remain aware. Whatever occurs, whatever you experience in your mind, in terms of any emotion, thoughts that arise in a meditation, it is important not to become distracted by anything outside of it. Whatever it is, simply rest your mind and look at it without distraction. So that's how you practice. As I said, by doing that over and over again, you will discover the nature of your mind. And through that, you will see there is no separation between outside and inside, Everything is actually a manifestation of nature of mind. Through that kind of recognition, you will know how to liberate your emotions and how to be tolerant with all situations. Then whatever you do, you will be free, happy, and peaceful. Through that, your whole attitude can change, right? And with that recognition, you will know how to deal with all the experience of Bardo state. That's what it says, Bardo means the intermediate state. So Bardo, that's why, the Bardo teachings are very important, but they're not easy to practice, but they're very important. They're about how to make our life meaningful. We'll talk more about Bardo teachings, hopefully, pretty soon. But we will have all these sort of distractions. So that's why I think Bardo teaching will help. Bardo teaching only, it doesn't mean only like after you die, It's but yeah, I will Bardo teaching during the May retreat, we will discuss each of those Bardos in more detail at that time, if you will be able to come. So anyway, I just to give you the benefit of practice dzogchen. But you have to receive the dzogchen teaching proper way, okay? It's very important to put dzogchen teachings into practice in a very skillful way and follow the oral instructions and meditation on them correctly, you know? So we all have some sort of basic experience and the same potential. Therefore, practice dzogchen meditation is very important for all of us. So I always, whatever I do, like I just give you, first to give you the benefit of, like, for example, benefit of bodhicitta practice, benefit of dzogchen practice, so that I hope sort of inspires you to, you know, receive those teachings properly. Okay? And now, last, I think this is the last one. Dorna tirang number tamchit the chipshit tambu chusun rorhila gets the yanship the hose. There turns on the lama to go on to tambu sham to the pamadulan course to any random Joan division to like per sure. Yes, this is the last. In short, Dorna, at all times and in all situations, let whatever you do accord with the sacred dharma and dedicate all virtue towards enlightenment. Okay. If you do so, you will fulfill your guru's wishes and be of service to the Buddha Dharma. You will repay the kindness of your parents, spontaneously accomplish the benefit of yourself and others. Please keep this in your heart. You know, for us as ordinary people, you know, this is another little bit difficult for us to follow, right? It says at all times, in every situation, that whatever you do accord with the secret dharma. That's not easy. As an ordinary person like me, you know, this is almost impossible right now. But as I said, you know, the Buddha nature is something that we all have with us continuously. So we have that kind of confidence. Oh, I can do this. I can reduce this, my ego, right? My ego, my selfishness. I can reduce my arrogance. So I have this Buddha nature. So this gives you the confidence, you know? And this Buddha nature, you know, something, Buddha nature is something that we all have with us continuously, all the time, which has been there since we took birth. It is never, ever separate from us. Because of that, we have a good opportunity and we have great potential to be able to act, as Longchenpa says, act in accordance with the sacred dharma. If we practice and practice correctly, we will be able to how do I say, able to sit in our meditation posture and let the mind be in its nature and recognize the self-awareness, luminosity of the mind, right? And then we will get a sort of clear recognition of this true nature. As I said, there is only one condition that makes this perfect, you know, practice, you know, successful, which is devotion, okay? So we should continue to try to develop devotion further, you know. educate ourselves. It's very important. From the Vajrayana point of view, liberation is dependent upon our devotion. So each individual practitioner needs to take this process and follow the detailed sort of oral instructions of the masters. That's important to understand. So Longchenpa, talks here about the introduction and basic sort of teachings of nature mind, the dzogchen, right? Which is really important. Once you receive the dzogchen instructions, you will get a certain confidence, okay? And you will be able to bring more peace and joyful into your life through their realization. You see, today here, all the teachings that Longchenpa gives us are not necessarily to teach us something very new, right? You all know this, you all heard these things millions of times, but he wants to encourage us to put what we have already learned into practice. And very simple way to understand and practice Buddhism is actually three things, okay? Renunciation, Bodhicitta, and dzogchen. How simple is that? There's just three things. That's all we need. So that we can develop the qualities of liberation further and further and further. For example, practice like satisfaction, right? We talked about practice satisfaction or renunciation, that same thing, so that we can reduce our desires, attachment, right? And then generate bodhicitta so that we can eliminate our selfish mind, and we will have more capacity to help others. That's the meaning of life. And to find genuine teachers and cultivate devotion so that we will receive their blessings. Practice dzogchen, the nature mind or Buddha nature, so that we will be able to attain enlightenment in this very lifetime. So that's all today. That's the topic, So in short, mingle your mind with these three essential practice so that you become a genuine Dharma practitioner. So these three Dharma practice, renunciation, bodhicitta, and dzogchen, includes all of the teachings of Buddhism. These are no matter what kind of tradition, Nyingma, Gelu, Gerju, whatever, it's just these three practice. So these three Dharma practice include everything. And these are the essential stages of practice from the beginning to enlightenment, okay? That's all Longchenpa talks about here. You see, they're not really sort of new teachings for us, for you, but these are the essence of practice, Basically, Longchenpa is saying here that you just can't talk about compassion, but you must be a compassionate person. You just cannot talk about kindness, but you must be a kind person. That's what, you just cannot wish sort of to receive blessings, but you must be generate the devotion. So you just can't receive the oral instructions of dzogchen, but you must recognize the nature mind and continued practice. That's what he's actually trying to tell us. You just cannot talk about dharma intellectually, but you must mingle your mind with the dharma and whatever you do accord with the dharma. So as I say, we all know these teachings intellectually for sure, but we don't have sort of any experience of this practice. Therefore, they're, in that case, they're very new to us. So in order to develop our ordinary mind and develop our ordinary conduct, we have to rely on these teachings, and we have to change these things little by little, okay? So we should try to mix our practice in, with our daily activities. That's very important. Never think that, oh, this is my meditation time, this is my work time, this is my family. That's not how you practice. Whatever you do, try to be aware, try to be mindful. And so it kind of like try to mix your practice, daily activities. Do your daily things, but try to do them together with your practice. And on the basis of your understanding, on the basis of your experience, and continue practice. And then at some point, you will be able to liberate everything. And that liberation is not happen sort of through your conception, but through your experience and realization. First you have to experience, then you have to go beyond the experience, right? So once we have that realization, different thoughts will still arise, right? We will have all this experience of samsara, but we will be able to handle them easily. So we need to find a real sort of inner peace and happiness. That can only be achieved through the spiritual inner practice. So we have to really practice very skillfully and practice as much as we can, and use your meditation to apply to the antidotes to your negative emotions. And try to, if you already received the dzogchen teaching, you're ready to practice, then practice as much as you can. I think that's all. I promised you finish on 3 o'clock, but it's a little bit late. I'm sorry about that. So now, the last daktang usin tachang damban dili lakpa shajime be tidang namba kund nyamsi yinsar. This is very important, right? Even if we were to meet in person, I would have no greater instructions to give you than this. It's really not. What as I said, when we met Longchenpa, maybe we hope that we'll receive blessings from these miracle things, but that's not his sin. This is true. Like we met Longchenpa today. I mean, if you see that way, it's really, this is the Longchenpa. I mean, the teachings represent all the Buddhas, and whatever the teachings represent their body, speech, and mind. So Longchenpa is amazing. He was a very important realized scholars in the Nyingma tradition, Nyingma school, of Tibetan Buddhism. So he was the most important also like philosophical author in the histories of the Nyingma tradition. He was born in Tibet, and I think 14th century. And when we think of him, the way he practiced, with what do you call it? Um, Satisfaction. He had one bag, and then nighttime he just go inside the bag and then sleep. And during the day he sit on the bag and then meditate like that, right? Many, many, many years. So when we think of him and read his books, and we wish to see him in person, but I think, he says here that even if we would meet him in person, he would have he said, no greater advice or instruction to give us than this. So this teaching is really, really important. It's a final advice, So you have the root text, so you receive the transmission. That means you have to read these teachings over again, and put them into your practice. That's all you need. Otherwise, if you today, you come here, which is I really appreciate, you appreciate for your effort, your diligence. Some of you, like right now, it's midnight. So I really appreciate your effort, your support, everything. But once we're done this teaching, and then you just that text, put away, and then you never study it again, never read it again. What is the point? So you have to read over and over and again, line by line, and think about the meaning, and that's how you do it, right? Think of meaning and try to put that in. When you think more meaning, then you have more questions, and then you ask the teacher, what does this means? I have this and this, and then you go through all of that, right? And then you met the Longchenpa. And through that pure perception, he will appear to you one day, one night, whatever, one day, and then give you all the advices, and then maybe you will receive the real blessing, which is the miracle. And then that's all. All right. Thank you very much. I think that I'm going to stop here, because otherwise I talk too much and you get bored. So, Longchen Rabjam Kar Toker Jingur to Kopa was Lord of the Victorious One. Longchen Rabjam wrote this on the slopes of Kangar Toker. I've been there many times. It's in Tibet. Tokers, may virtues abound. What do you call it? Abound? Chaos. So that's all. Thank you all very much for being here, and your effort and your support, everything. And I hope this teachings helpful, and you learn something new or whatever. And if there is something wrong, then let me know. I will help you as much as I can based on my capacity. And then, thank you all. Thank you, Bodhicitta Sangha. Thank you, Colin, take care of the setup, the Zoom and everything. That's very, very, very helpful. Thank you. If you want to know more about Longchenpas, and Kate put lots of resources on the website. So thank you for that. So thank you. And I hope you have a good practice, good life, successful life, whatever your aims, be successful, and continue to practice dharma. And that's all. Thank you very much. And being said that, now say the dedication prayers, and you dedicate these virtues, whatever you dedicate all sentient beings, and free from suffering. And that's all. Thank you very much.